This is a real jewel.
Being able to continue to share things that have happened in our past help us learn where we've been, what we've been through, and where we can go.
Growing up here as a young boy, it was a real family house, and having cousins here and friends, it just made my experience very memorable.
I think it's really a first-class educational institution.
Hello, and welcome to the Hayes Presidential Center. We are the nation's first presidential library, and each year over 40,000 people from across Ohio, the country, and the world pass through these doors to learn more about Rutherford B. Hayes, our 19th president, and how his policies and family shaped our nation. President Hayes believed strongly in the importance of an education and education's ability to solve many of our society's problems. And we support that. We believe that studying your past allows you to shape your future. The Hayes Presidential Center is already an integral part of the diverse communities that we serve. And we want to grow this organization and offer more services to our public. And I hope that you will join me in that mission through the Gateway to the Future campaign. Thank you so much for watching this brief documentary of the Hayes Presidential Center, and I hope that you enjoy learning more about us and why we are worthy of your investment.
I'm very proud of Spiegel Grove, and I'm very proud of the memorial, and I want to do everything I can to see that it stays that way and continues to improve.
Rutherford Hayes had a passion for history that he passed along to his children. As early as the Civil War, he sent items back home to be placed in what he referred to as his future museum. Little did he know that his children would found the first presidential library in the nation. Today, this library houses his diaries, his letters, his papers, and personal items for the people to view.
Well, I started out coming to the center. I was interested in literature and was doing bibliographical research on 19th century authors, and then found all the resources here.
And I came up to the Hayes Library and did some research, and that sort of set me on my quest for my family history to see where it was going to take me. If you haven't been to the Hayes Library before, they have a huge obituary database that can be accessed online. Recently, they went in partnership with Ancestry.com.
The William Randolph Hearst Foundation, which makes numerous grants every year, took a look at the Hayes Center and realized that it was a real jewel. That in America we have, I think, something like fewer than 15 presidential centers. And when you look at this center and what it offers, the archives that exist here at the center, the million documents, manuscripts, the 100,000 books that the center has, and the focus that is created for the education, particularly of school children, to us was a real benefit of this jewel.
Rutherford B. Hayes always thought of country before party or self. He distilled his political philosophy down to one sentence that he delivered in his inaugural address. He said, "He serves his party best who serves his country best."
As probably recognized as a business leader, I think it's important to make sure that this historical facility stays up to date and open and certainly accessible to all people, because for us it's a great treasure. And I think our goal is to make sure that people understand that this is a treasure not only for Ohio but even for the nation because of the historical perspective that it presents.
I remember growing up, and every Christmas we would come out with my grandfather, and we would always bring a friend. My brothers would bring friends, and I would bring a friend. And it's funny to hear from some of those friends now, and they're bringing their kids. And it's just that type of legacy that I'd like to have my family be able to continue and know that it's something that's very special and very unique.
Hayes was pretty much someone who brought people together, and he was a very good man. And some of the values that people could learn from Hayes as president will stand the test of time.
The First Lady, his wife Lucy Webb Hayes, expression First Lady, I think they used it when she was in office. She was the First Lady to ever go to college. She turned the White House and Spiegel Grove into something very unique, and her presence was definitely known.
Investing in the Hayes Presidential Center has several very positive effects. One is preserve history. And I think we really have an obligation in this nation to preserve our history. The second thing is what a magnificent place this is to visit. The 25 acres of land, magnificent trees, magnificent home has been now restored fully to the past. And the third, what a magnificent museum is here.
We welcome visitors from all over, and with that comes the responsibility of helping us maintain high-quality services. So give generously, because your donation will help us not only maintain what we have, but continue to improve and expand our services.
We have a great opportunity of expanding our educational opportunities with all ages to continue to keep American history alive and well.
I think it really struck me how important a center like this is when I brought my 12-year-old stepdaughter here. She was doing a report, and she had chosen to do the report on President Hayes. And she had looked up every website that was out there, and she had done all of her research online and in the library. But it wasn't until we came to the house and walked on the grounds and stood in the bedroom where he slept that it really came alive for her. And all of a sudden you saw a passion about learning more about President Hayes and what his life was really about and what made him who he was. This is why the center is so important. This is why we need to continue the educational programs that see thousands of students come through every year.
When we took a look at the Hayes Presidential Center, we saw very quickly an organization that was serving a very broad and very important purpose. We saw an organization that fiscally was well managed, and an organization that had leadership that was very solid. As a foundation executive, when I look at organizations, I look for those aspects. I also want to see where their funding is coming from. In the case of the Hayes Presidential Center, it was not funded by the federal government. Its funding from the state government was diminishing, as is the case in all such institutions. So it was relying on corporations, foundations, and individual donors. And I think they had a very nice balance of contributions coming from a revenue stream of 3 or 4 different sources. That was important to us. What also was important to us is that while this wonderful center is located in Ohio, and very much of it is about Ohio, it's much broader in the sense that we're talking about the presidency of the 19th President of the United States and all that implied shortly after the Civil War. So we saw much to like as a foundation, and I'm sure that other foundations will view it similarly.
Thank you for taking a glimpse of the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Center, the first presidential library in the nation. Whether it's our special events, programs, touring the museum and home, visiting the special exhibits each year, researching, genealogy, website research, or walking the grounds, the Hayes Presidential Center prides itself in being an educational institution for all ages throughout the United States. As we celebrate 100 years of operation, we would like to ask you to help us secure the future of the Hayes Presidential Center for another 100 years by being a major donor to our Gateway to the Future campaign. Your support will not only help continue the great educational opportunities in place today, but help the center expand and broaden the programs to meet the needs of future generations.
The Hayes Presidential Center, the gateway to the future. You can help make history come alive for the next 100 years.